Hi there, YouTubers and weavers. Yep, another project is beginning. That's how a lot of my videos start, isn't it? Another project is beginning. So, I'm finally done with scarves. I spent the fall, early winter doing nothing but scarves. A bunch of them. I'm done with them. I'm going to start doing some overshot pieces, kind of like towels. Certainly could be used for towels. But I'm going to probably end up giving some of these away, and if they turn out getting used as table runners, towels, dresser scarves, I don't care. The pattern I'm doing is from what people call the Green Book. I still have the paper cover on mine. It's yellow, but it really is the Green Book. A Handweavers Pattern Book by Margurite Davison. I am doing a modification of the Sara Liz pattern that is on page 154. Now, hold this up, show it to you. That's this pattern here. I'm seriously modifying it. I do not want this big wide stripe here. I've cut that down to only 2 or 3 repeats. I don't want this big wide chunk here. I've cut that down to only about 3 or 4 repeats instead of the multiples that are in the book. I will show you my modifications to this on the computer so you get a rough idea of what my plans are here. I have measured out this, the warp for this already. I've got 581 threads for this. My intention is to do this at 18 ends per inch using 8-2 cotton as the warp and the tabby weft, and I will use various other things as the pattern weft. We'll hold off on what that's going to be till later because I haven't fully decided, but I've got a couple other thicker threads that I can use. So that is the plan. The warp, I am in the process. I will show you. Well, let's see if I do it this way. There's my notes. Each time I put something up, I cover it over with magic or marker, with a marking pen. As I'm threading the heddles, I've measured out all the warp threads. I'm threading the heddles now. It's a nuisance because I can only remember 2 numbers at a time to be sure I'm not getting confused. So the next ones will be right there, 5 and 4. And you're thinking 5 and 4, wait a second. Overshot patterns only need 4 shafts. Well, you're right. But overshot patterns only need 4 threads or 4 shafts if you have enough heddles on each of the 4 shafts to do that. I have enough heddles available for me to use on shafts 1 and 2. I did not have enough heddles available on shafts 3 and 4. So I have split them, and everything that normally would be on shaft 4, I have moved to shafts 5 and 6. Alternating between them. And then everything that normally would be on shaft 3, I am spreading out between shafts 3 and 4. So I'm doing shafts 1 and 2 the normal way. Shaft 3 becomes 3 and 4. Shaft 4 becomes 5 and 6. That way I didn't have to move any heddles around. It's much easier to spread the weaving over multiple shafts than it is to move heddles on this Louette spring loom of mine. I love the Louette for weaving, but it is a first-class pain in the seat of the pants to move heddles from one shaft to another. So since I've got more shafts than I need for this pattern, I'm spreading the load out. One of the ways I did that is using the Tempo Weave program, and I'll try and remember to show you a little demonstration of that on the computer. So I'm going to aim the camera down and show you where I'm at for now. Okay, so this is out of the way. Let's grab this. Oh, that was 5. I just did the 5 and 6. No, 5 and 4. So now I'm going to take 2 threads and do 2 and 3. So this goes, one thread goes on the heddle for shaft 2 and one on the heddle for shaft 3. You've seen me do this multiple times on different patterns, so I'm not going to really zoom in on it too much. The other thing I thought I would do, most people who do overshot and most overshot patterns think in terms of a plain white tabby background. I thought I've got some bright colored threads that I think I want to use for the pattern weft. So I thought I would use black as my tabby structure, except I'm going to do it so much on one side, then I'm going to do one chunk in the middle of white. Actually, it's natural, unbleached cotton, and then go back to black again over on this side. So black, white, black. If I could keep it black, white, black completely, it'd kind of remind me of a Roman collar that a priest wears, but that's a totally separate issue. That's the goal. This is taking me a long time to set up because unlike the scarves, which are, 100, 110, 115 warp threads, this is 580, so it's taking me a bit longer. Going to be a finer piece of cloth when I'm done. That's the beginning, that's the plans, that's the start. Depending on how much time I spend on the computer showing you the modified pattern and how I used Tempo Weave to move the threads from 4 to 5 and 6 and 3 to 3 and 4. I may get to actually showing you some weaving on this video, and then again I may not. I don't know how long the video is going to be or when I'm going to get that far. But that's the intro. I know it's been a lot of talking. We'll get to weaving soon, and I will show you the pattern next. Hey YouTubers, I'm at the computer and trying to do a screen recording. So this is my pattern as I have entered it into Lofty Fibers, one of the 2 weaving design software programs that I have on my computer. They each have advantages and disadvantages, but this is how it looks in Lofty Fibers. The colors shown on here, the warp colors are correct, the black and the white. So you can see I've got black here, then white, then black over here for my warp. You can see those up here. I am using red mostly as my design weft colors, but the yellow lines as shown in here simply are to show me where pattern repeats change. Something I did just to make it easier for me to count threads. Okay? This is different than the pattern in the Green Book, Margurite Davison's Handweavers Pattern Book. This is mostly the pattern on page 154 that is called Sara Liz, but I've made some changes to it. And I'm hoping that you'll be able to see my cursor. But this area here, where there is just this steady block that you can see my cursor moving around in, that I have made smaller. It's not as wide as it would be in the book, okay? Same way down here, I've made, and this is in warp for how wide it is. Same way on this side, and in between the sections right here, 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 and here, if you're following my cursor. Then down here I have made it narrower in the treadling, so there's left weft shots back and forth, okay? But other than that, I've basically followed the Sara Liz pattern in the book, okay? This is shown on screen without the tabby wefts being shown. The other thing I want to show you is, I'm going to go into the project tab. I'm going to go into the project information tab and over to the heddle count. Note that on shaft 3, this pattern requires 168 heddles. Well, I only have 150 heddles on shaft 3. I have 200 on shaft 1, I need 139. I have 200 heddles on shaft 2, I need 156. But I only have 150 on shaft 3 and I need 168. On shaft 4, again, I have 150, but I only need 140. One of the reasons I did this pattern in in Lofty Fibers and not Fiberworks PCW is Lofty Fibers has what they call a warp spread function. And I'm going to show that to you in just a minute. But I'm not going to show it to you in this complicated pattern. I'm going to show it to you in a much simpler one, just so you can see what it does a little bit easier. But I did want you to see the whole basic pattern as I've done it. And when you see my weaving, you'll notice that the weft color is totally different, is not the solid red, but who cares? For the purpose of laying this out, the red works great. And the warp colors, the white and the black, they're fine as is. So let's close this one and start a new project, and I'm going to show you the warp spread function that I really like in Lofty Fibers. I'm going to get the names of these programs screwed up. And I don't think it exists in Fiberworks PCW. If it does and one of you knows about it, please enter a comment in this video about where it hides, because I can't find it. So let's close this. And I'm going to start a new project. I'm going to make it a real simple something just so I can give you an example. We're going to do straight twill. Let's go over to there, up to there. Again, it's using shafts 1 through 4. We're going to do this as if it were twill 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 1, 4, and now we'll do the drawdown here. Whoops. There we go. You can see the drawdown. This is only 40 threads. There would be enough, but let's pretend for the moment that this is what I want. And let's say I don't have, let's see, there should be 10 in each shaft, okay? But let's say I don't have enough heddles on shafts 3 and 4. So what I did for the real pattern I'm working is I moved all of the heddles from shaft 4 to shafts 5 and 6. And I moved everything, and I split everything that was on shaft 3 to shafts 3, and 4. That way I've got enough. So let's go into Tools, and it's called Warp Spread. It's up here at the top. So I'm going to choose Warp Spread, and it asks me, it says select shaft you wish to spread in the From shaft and place the spreaded pattern in the To shafts. So let's say we want to move everything that was on shaft 4, or that is on shaft 4 right now. We're going to move to shafts 5 and 6. That will leave shaft 4 unused. So I'm going to go to here and increase this to shaft 5 and increase this to shaft 6. I'm now going to choose the spread button, and notice all the 4s are gone, but I now have everything that was on a 4 is now either on 5 or 6 or 5 or 6. Okay, now we can move shaft 3 to shafts 3 and 4. So then we're going to end up with half of these shaft 3 numbers are going to stay, but half of them are going to go up to shaft 4. We will again click on the spread button, and now you can see it's 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 4, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 4, 6. I have spread that. If we go back into the Project tab, Project Information, Heddle Count, you can now see that I still have 10 on shaft 1, 10 on shaft 2, but shaft 3 and 4 each have 5. Shaft 5 and 6 each have 5. That's how I've spread this. That then became really useful when I was threading the loom through the heddles to get my warp spread out. That saved me from having to move heddles, which the Louette Spring is a wonderful loom to weave on, but it's a real pain in the seat of the pants, at least, to move heddles from one shaft to another. So this saved having to do that. This is one feature that Lofty Fibers has, which I really love, and which, to the best of my knowledge, does not exist in Fiberworks PCW, although I think it would be a great improvement if it were ever added to Fiberworks PCW. So I know that this part has not been hands-on weaving. You're not seeing it, but this is part of my planning process for setting up this project, and I thought it was something that would be well worth you seeing. By the way, if you look over here at where I am in here, overlaid on this video, I know the lighting is bad, but if I don't have this light on, it'll be way too dark. Probably like that. Or it might even be like that. So we'll go with the extra light. That's it for now. Next chunk of this video should be some actual weaving. Hey there, YouTubers. Well, you can see I'm actually finally weaving on this project. I shouldn't say finally, because I've done a little bit of, I've got almost a yard woven on this so far, out of the 7 yards that I used for warp. So with drawing, it's probably, I probably have only about 5.5 yards left to go. But this is an overshot pattern. I'm hoping that shows up in the video. You can see it a little bit more here on the white in the center. I don't know if the overshot's going to show up in the darker colors out here in the video, but as I get more into the lighter colors like this yellow, I think it will show up. And I'm using this variegated, ooh, I'm out of the light. This variegated yarn, This is the same yarn. This is the leftovers from that variegated bright yellow and bluish scarf that I did a month or so ago. There's half of it. Turn it around. Show you the other half. The one I ended up giving away as a Christmas present to one of the ladies at St. Vincent de Paul. Anyways, so we've got that for the pattern weft. Black cotton for the tabby weft. And again, I don't know if this will show up, but here's my pattern. I'm just checking off as I do these with the shaft numbers, the treadle numbers for my treadling. So let's take a look at the weaving process. The next 4 treadles will be treadle 6, then 9. 6 is pattern, 9 is tabby, 6 is pattern again, and then 10 is tabby. So here we go. There's your 6, 9, 6, 10. And then because I can't remember anything longer than that for numbers, I'll mark it off on my note page here. The next is going to be 7, 9, 7, 10. 7, 9, 7. I'm trying to lean back and keep my shoulder out of the view of the camera because that's obviously closer, and it'll try and readjust the focus, and that would not be good. You'd rather see the weaving than my shoulder. So now we're doing 4, 9, 4, 10. Whoops, we didn't do the 10 yet. There's the 10 from the last one. Now it's going to be 4, 9, 4, 10. 4, 9, 4, 10, and go mark it off on the sheet of paper. Now 7, 9, 7, 10 again. Overshot is slower weaving because you're changing. First off, you're using the 2 shuttles, and secondly, it's not consistent. I mean, it is, but it takes me about 50 different picks before I get a repeat, and I can't memorize that. So I have to keep looking at the pattern in between. So that was 7, yeah. So the next one is going to be 6, 9, 6, 10. So 6, 9. Now 5. Mark that down. There you go, that's another repeat of the pattern done. I'm going to keep weaving, probably off camera. And I'm not sure how long this video is going to be, because I still have to do some computer work that I want to show you about how I set this one up. And I haven't timed that part yet. So I think this will probably be the end part of the video. If it is, my usual comments, you know, like, subscribe, hit the bell, all the things every YouTuber always says. And I will see you the next time around on YouTube at the loom. Bye-bye for now.